So I'm at Walmart today checking out in Kentucky, and this guy behind me, he starts throwing up this ruckus about rednecks, and he directs it towards me. Starts calling me a fucking redneck. A fucking redneck. A hillbilly. And so I turned around and looked at and asked him, I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, I don't know why you think I'm a redneck. And his response was, I didn't know inbreds were allowed to fucking breed. And I look at him and I looked at his girlfriend and I was all like, well, it is illegal for you to sleep with fucking horses, but it's only frowned upon if you sleep with your second cousins. So I'm sorry for your misconception there, Mr. Urban Hillbilly over here. And the guy looks at me and he starts twiddling with his little beard, he looks at me seriously and says, you want to do this? You know, as redneck as I am, the stranger guy in front of me, he doesn't want to be part of this conversation. But I get out my dip, my pinch, and I asked the guy to hold it. Good friend, I guess, because he just held it, stuck it in his mouth, started chewing on it, winked at the guy. And I went back to him, I'm like, I'm sorry, your horse-faced girlfriend over here, she had me confused that you were banging this horse. I'm sorry about that, but I don't know why you think I'm a redneck, or if I am, by any means, if I look like one, if you think I'm offended by the way you say things, but don't be going making accusations that I'm sleeping with cousins because I have baby clothes. That makes no sense whatsoever. And he looks at me and he's all like, first off, my girlfriend's not a horse, she's a fucking unicorn. And I'm like, oh yeah? Well, you're a fucking urban hillbilly with your perfectly groomed beard and that's not even flannel, that's like silk or something. I don't even know what that is. But if you're afraid that, like, you know, your girlfriend's attracted to me, this horse face, you know, that I'm gonna ride her or whatever, or maybe take her to my pickup truck or anything like that, then you're sadly mistaken. I don't own a pickup truck. But the guy's like, my girl don't like pickup trucks. And I was all like, oh yeah? watch this, dude. So I look at the girl and I'm all like, hey, what would you say if I whipped out my pickup truck right now? And I'm talking about my dick. And she looked at me, she's all like, I'd like to see your pickup truck. And I was like, oh yeah? And I was all like, I reached into my pocket and I was like, Kapow! Showed her my pickup truck. She blushed. I knew she liked it. It has a nice ass. It can take you anywhere. But the guy, he looked at me, he was just mad in the face, like he wanted to kick my ass. I turned around to Billy. I call him Billy now because, you know, he was chewing on my dip, and I was all like, hey, can I have my dip back? He totally just spits it out of his hand and gives it back to me. The cashier, she's just like, what? Had no idea who this dude was, but he's a good friend. He, you know, gave me my dip back. And I continued to cash out. The guy behind me, he didn't even move when it was ready for him to unload his cart of fucking beard products, and I think he had some vegan milk or something. I don't know. He was a fucking douche. But really, I'm not a redneck. I'm like the farthest thing from a redneck. Long story short, if you want to get a girl, sure, your pickup truck.